Thank you. I'm Deborah. I'm the director of Body Now. For those of you that are visitors, most of us will be members of Body Now. So just to let you know, I've been in this industry for almost 30 years. And a lot of certifications, a lot of formal education. And I'm going to say the best education I've got is called the School of Hard Knocks. Because I've had success and failure, and it's a cycle and it continues to repeat itself. But each time I take a step backwards, I look at that step and I learn from those lessons. I think that's really important. And one thing I notice a lot of people do is instead of moving forward from those lessons, they hang out there and they beat themselves up. And this is not about beating yourself up. This is about claiming your full power and your energy in your body, and also in your life, and I call that our life force. So I set up a quick PowerPoint. It's only about 12 screens, and the first one I started with was Wake Up. I was reading recently, and I don't know if you've talked, there's a lot of epidemics going on right now that are self-induced. And one of them is not taking care of ourselves. And I think, why are we taking care of ourselves? I mean, there's different ways of doing it. There's extreme ways of taking care of ourselves. And then there's a healthy way where we just feel really good and we feel happy. And every day we get up and we're excited to face what life is offering to us. And if you look on, I Google everything. I love to study. But they've done studies about people that have heart disease. And they've had opportunities to heal from heart disease through correct exercise and correct nutrition and taking care of themselves. But I think it's something on the level of like 70% that don't do anything about it. They rely on medication and maybe a half-hearted approach to really maybe changing their lives. So it's really about a personal transformation that we're looking for. And it's about, I think, going back to the way we were born, which is an incredible potential. And so with that, there's a lot of feelings that go around that, and a lot of emotions, as Sandra was saying. So we have to go back to what we need that's going to bring more joy into our lives and give us the energy and the enthusiasm to live out our lives. They say the average American has the potential to live, most of them, if you are maintaining health, about the age of 85. I know nobody in here is 85. And if you're really healthy, you could even live well into your hundreds. So let's think about, when we're taking care of ourselves, how we can age gracefully and age with enthusiasm and have something good to look forward to beyond our fertility years. It's a new kind of fertility. It's one that's creating opportunities for future generations. So I'd like to ask you if anyone here has trouble sticking with an exercise program. Anyone? A little trouble sticking it. Okay, so let's talk about the reasons why. I mean, I just want to ask, if you volunteer. Do you not like to exercise? Yeah.
I love summer. I'll just exercise summer. I love it because there's so much variety. But once winter comes, I just want to sit inside and sit on the couch and eat stew. And,
It does do that, especially with summer. We only have 70 full days of sunshine here in Eugene if you look at the weather charts. And so the weather outside, the lack of sunlight, can really have a big effect on our desire to get out and move. And that's why it's great to belong to a gym. I don't know about you, but I have never liked to work out at home. And I have a lot of people say, well, I'll just work out at home. And then I see them 2 years later at Costco, and they see me, and they run. They run the other way. And so what we are here at Body Now, what we do is we provide a support group. And I'm not telling you have to be here. You need to find your own support group, wherever that might be. But it needs to be a group that's going to enhance your overall outlook and health, because we know that we can't store fitness. So you can work out like a marathon fitness person, but then come winter time, we have what's called muscle atrophy. It affects our skeletal system, and we can't store fitness. So we have to find a way to make that work for us. And I'm going to show you real quick. I'll give you some ideas, but this is actually part one of a series I'm going to do for behavioral and motivation for keeping our fitness level. So anyone else? I know wintertime, I don't feel as much like going outside either, definitely. Anyone else sticking with the fitness program?
Mine is definitely not being with a group.
Not being with a group, okay.
Yeah, I do not do well unless I have group activity.
Yeah.
I hurt.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna go over that too. So social connections are huge, and I know that I get a better workout when I'm in a class or I'm with other people. I definitely do. I mean, I've got zillions of videos at home. I walk at home, I still get other exercise outside, but here is where I really focus. I plant myself. So if you don't belong to a gym, you don't have to belong here, but I suggest you go somewhere or have a group of people that you can work out with so you have that strong support team. Lisa, you said pain, physical pain. We're going to go into that too. Talk about how that keeps you from exercising.
It hurts. I feel like if I go and I try to do it, it's just going to hurt more.
Yeah.
If I just go home and take a shower and put some sweats on, I'm going to feel better. You don't.
Right. And we don't really know exactly what the cause of that is. Some of us may have past injuries. Muscular and structural imbalances. This is really important, especially as we start to age. It could be a rheumatological or autoimmune factor. And one of the reasons I asked Brian to be here today, Brian and I are going to be working together, also about nutrition, all of these things, being well so that your body feels good. I mean, we know we need to exercise. And have any of you ever, just I have a quick question, gotten high from exercising?
Yeah.
Ever gotten high from it? Okay. Yeah. So what does that feel like?
Oh, it's great. It's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, you can run, hit
Yeah.
that wall and also go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great, healthy drug. Exercise, yes.
Well, another thing, recently came back from spending 31 days with my dad in Boise, post-pneumonia, and seeing this guy who's always been really big and strong, who was so, not from pneumonia, but just general not exercising, having weak quads and just, having standing up be an issue. I was like, damn, I do not want to go there.
I really feel what you're saying. And this is exactly one of the reasons I put Wake Up, because we get little wake-up calls. We get to see our aging parents. We have pain in our body that's saying, pay attention, there's something off. Maybe we're feeling like we just don't feel like exercising. Depression's a really big thing too. And I also find, for me, what got me into fitness was, I didn't realize I had anxiety and depression. I did not know that. And the first aerobic class I took was in the early 80s. My aunt drugged me to this aerobic class. 2 biker chicks did it. It was in Alameda, California, and it was when flash dance was really big. And that was the first time I'd ever gotten my exercise high. I went into this class, and what a feeling. We were jumping around and screaming and sweating, and I didn't know that I could dance. I was so excited. It was like, that was that one moment was my wake-up call. But I get repeated wake-up calls when I see younger women trying to get out of their car. And instead of having grace and strength, they're it's not pretty. It's not a pretty thing. And I know that being attractive also is important for us. Being as attractive as we can with our special gifts. Each woman is a flower. We have our uniqueness. We want to be able to celebrate that. So whatever your wake-up call is, pay attention to that. Because that's a special gift just for you to say, hey, guess what? Life is right here. I'm waiting for you. All right, so let me see if I can turn this here. Here we go. Why give up? Why do people give up the fitness program? You get started, 30 days usually they find. 30 days after getting started, a lot of people kind of wither away and they just stop. What's the reason for giving up?
Not seeing progress.
Not seeing progress, okay. So what kind of progress are you looking for?
Well, I know it comes with age that, your progress isn't going to be as fast as it was when you were younger. And for me, I'm a really busy person. I have 2 jobs and I have serious time constraints. So when I get started on something, I need it to go. And so it gets a little frustrating when it doesn't go.
Okay, so what type of specific progress are you looking for as far as goals though?
Just, looking different in your clothes or feeling different in your clothes.
Okay.
Or just losing weight, losing more than a couple pounds in a month would be great.
Okay, so what I'm hearing from you is that I'm hearing desires, but I'd like for you to take those desires and write them down as specific goals so you have a focus. Because once you have that focus, you're able to nail it. But if it's just a desire, it becomes a wish, and then it's really difficult to activate it so it can really happen. Once we start to really put it down on paper and write it down and come up with a game plan, I know you're busy, you're a mom, and you work, there's so much, we have a lot on our plate, but there's always ways to reach that goal. I know that you can do it. And I'll be here after class if we need to talk, okay? Yeah, I'm definitely here to help you, for sure. And we'll work it out for you. Why give up? For ourselves, but also you look at your kids, you look at future generations, and we are going as a society